So welcome to the second class in the 8 Limbs of Yoga series. Let me pause the music here. And we're going to be going to our second limb. So we did the yamas last week, things you shouldn't do if you want to live in a healthy, happy society. And these next 5 weeks, we're going to be focused on the second limb, the niyamas, the personal observances, the things you should do if you want to be healthy, happy, and live in a cohesive, harmonious world. So, real briefly, let me show you what we're going to do. So, Shaucha is the word for cleanliness or purity, and that's the first of the niyamas as a personal virtue. And that can relate to the purity of our body, so kind of keeping ourselves clean inside and out. It can also refer to purity in the mind, being free of negative thoughts or anger and a lot of the destructive and corrosive mental habits, and purity of spirit, kind of our actions to others. So there are, and in some of the yogic traditions, there's actually 6 purifications that they talk about. Some of them we're going to practice today, some of them we will not. They're called the Shatkarma, the 6 purifications. So the first one is neti. So if you've ever done a neti pot, where you put like salt water in this little kind of teapot and you pour it through one nose and it irrigates your sinuses and it pours out the other side. So this was I believe invented in India, and it's really great. You can actually get them in the drugstores now. I tried it this morning after a while of putting it away, and it's great in the changing the seasons or during the fall and winter when we might have more susceptibility to sinus infections and so forth. So neti wash is the first. Dauti is digestion cleansing, and in the old days they would swallow a piece of cloth and then scrub their insides with that. So everybody grab like an old shirt or something, and we're going to practice that. Just cut it in a strip. No, we won't do that. Also, neti, one of my teachers was traveling to India, and he was practicing with Pattabhi Jois, who's one of the original yogis who brought yoga to the West, or trained a lot of Western teachers. And neti can also be done with a string, and you put it through one nostril and you take it out the other, and you kind of floss your nasal passageways. And he'd say he'd go to the side of the room and grab a string and be like, okay guys, and he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. He's like, that does not look clean. So sometimes you gotta be careful with these purifications. Sometimes you can actually introduce more impurities if accidentally. The third one is nauli, and these are belly movements that help massage the intestines and the gut. And today I'm going to share with you some kind of basic ones that are more accessible, because the advanced ones are pretty insane. And I wanted to show you like a 1-minute video of what the nauli looks like, so you can appreciate the ones we're doing today instead of doing this one. So are you guys seeing the YouTube here? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. All right. So this is a woman doing nauli, which you can do it today if you want. It's up to you. Right. So can you see how she sucks her belly in, and she's controlling the abdominal muscles, and it massages and it rolls through the digestive tract, and it kind of cleanses, kind of like physically massages the belly. So if you thought wiggling your ears was difficult, that's an example of nauli, and there's actually several different versions of that. So yeah, you can check that on YouTube if you want to see more of that kind of stuff. So we're going to be doing a lot more simplified version of that one. You've got basti, which is a colonic, like a enema, basically. We won't be doing that today. Kapalabhati is breath of fire, skull cleansing breath. We're going to do a little bit of that. And Tritaka is the candle gaze. So these are the Shatkarmas, the 6 traditional cleansing techniques in yoga. And we're going to be incorporating some of them, and also some of the concepts of purification, internal purification through class. So we're going to start with Kapalabhati, breath of fire. get a comfortable seat and I'll take you through our breathing warm-up. So you want to sit so your spine is nice and tall, comfortable. All right. And start by, you're going to breathe in and out just through the nose. And that's why Nettie can help at first if your nose is clogged. And just in and out through the nose. And then you start to go faster on the exhale. So kind of a strong, powerful exhale through the nose. And the inhale just comes as a rebound, as a reflex. You don't even try to inhale, just let the lungs fill up naturally. If you want, you can kind of pump your belly a little in as you exhale. And then you start to speed it up to a rapid pace. And some people will even go twice as fast as that, very rapidly. The important thing is not to get dizzy. If you need to breathe and rebalance your oxygen levels, just do that. Now slowly exhale, very slowly inhale, hold the breath in and just fill the lungs for about 10 to 15 seconds. If you run out of air, inhale a little more. Whenever you're ready, slow exhale. And then you just close the eyes and sit comfortably. Notice what you feel. Now another round. Breath of fire. Rapid exhale through the nose. Slow exhale. Very slow inhale, draw the breath in. Kapalabhati means skull shining breath. Your brain illuminates with energy. Hold the breath in 15-20 seconds. Ready, slow exhale, and then just pause. Notice what you feel. And for yourself today, you can set an intention. What is your Sow-cha? What would you like to purify or cleanse in body, mind, or spirit? Set your own intention for the class. Take a nice comfortable deep breath in. Exhaling out. And then circle your waist. Sufi grind, warming up your belly, your internal organs. We're going to do some internal digestive cleansing today, so hopefully you didn't eat a 3-course continental breakfast right before class. Always a light meal if you're going to eat before class. A couple of pieces of fruit, maybe yogurt, something, but not too much. And go back the other way. It's a good idea to have some water next to you in class today also to keep your body hydrated and flushed. All right, wonderful. And go ahead and come up to standing and grab your bow staff and get warmed up. Okay. Take your staff up and over your shoulders. Let it rest comfortably on your upper back, your wrists or forearms. Lightly stretched across the ends and twist from side to side. And breathe comfortably in and out. Feel the chest, the pecs opening, your lungs opening. You can think of your body cleansing as you go through movements as well. Movement has a cleansing effect on us. Moving the joints gets the synovial fluid moving, this kind of gelatin and collagen between our bones. And rotate forward, and synovial fluid is not just a lubricant, it's a shock absorber, and it has cleansing properties. So chemicals in the synovial fluid actually cleanse the cellular waste and keep your joints clean. There was an article in Yoga Journal a couple months ago too that talked about the interstitial fluids. Something you probably don't think about a lot during your day. Go ahead and swim backwards. The interstitial fluids are the fluids in between things inside of our organs and body, like fluids in between the liver and the gallbladder and the ribs, and all those fluids inside of us benefit from twisting and squeezing, and it's kind of like washing dishes. You kind of scrub some of the things away that might have gotten caked on. So twists in particular can facilitate internal cleansing. Take your bow staff and roll it up and down your neck, turning your head side to side. Breathing out comfortably. It's interesting to think about physical tension, little knots and pressures, pain points in the body as kind of residual physical manifestations of emotional stress. Like when we get stressed out, our body clenches and tightens, and then it turns into this knot. We feel it physically, but it might have emotional roots to it. So often when we're massaging or releasing the physical body, you can feel yourself going through a sense of relief emotionally too. So breathing out, you can roll the neck, the shoulders, the back, rolling your way down the spine as far as it'll go. Upper back. Take Takes a little maneuvering to get it under control, but nice. And the next way to get to the base of the neck, if I find myself on the computer too long, my neck starts to hurt. So hold your hands in about 90 degrees the elbow, and then feel the occiput, which is that divot in the back of your skull, and then just let your head lean back like you're chillaxing in a hot tub, and your head is just resting on the edge of the hot tub, and you just roll your head from left to right, and you massage the edge of the skull, where your skull meets your neck, the ridge of the bone there. You might find some hot spots, and breathe out. You might stay on one spot, a little zinging point maybe, and breathe out. Imagine like a rice cooker or a pressure cooker. You're opening that steam vent with your breath. You're letting the pressure out of your head, releasing any pent-up tension. And if the bow staff is too soft, get yourself like a oak staff. That'll really open some steam. But usually the padding is quite nice. All right, so you can do that on your own also later if that felt good. All right, take your staff up and over your head, down the front. Shrug your shoulders out, loosen it up a little. Take your feet wide, hands wide. And now circle around your body, rotating, nice and smooth. You can bend your torso a little bit, open the chest. Rotating around wrist and forearm, shoulders and back, just patience and persistence. Being really kind and thoughtful, respectful to your body. And then reverse, go the other way. So, in class, sometimes we think of the teacher as like the peloton leader in a bike race. You're trying to like keep up with the guy in the white yellow jersey. Instead, think of me like a tour guide on a garden tour. And I'm gonna show you this and show you that. But if you wanna go wander off and look over there and take one of these poses and just stay a little longer or do something different, I really invite you to do that. It's your body and you know it better than me. And I'll take you on a nice tour, but you're certainly welcome to do a self-guided tour anytime you like. So our next stop on the tour, the chest opener, you come up and back, open the heart. You can open your throat a little bit here. Opening the jaw, the face, you can move your neck a little bit. And then come back up and over and put your shoulders down, shrug it out and release. The nice thing about online yoga is if you're doing your own guided tour, sometimes people find it distracting if somebody else is doing it in the class in front of them, but you're at home, you can do whatever you like. So take your staff off to the side and then place it behind your back on your sacrum. So right on where your belt would be, not your lower back, the hips. Slide the hands in a little bit, your feet wide, and now rotate in a circle. I had one student back in Northbrook who I would encourage people to kind of do their own thing sometimes, and she loved tapping and she loved the healing sounds. So we'd be doing something and then in the back of the room you'd hear shh. It sounded like she was shushing, but I knew it was one of the healing sounds. So I'd be like, raise your hand. She'd go, shh. Turn to the side, shh. That did bother the other students. So as long as your detour doesn't bother other people, it's totally fine. And online yoga, you can make all the sounds you want. Nobody will hear you. So you can do the healing sounds. Go the other way and circle your hips and waist. And pause. If you feel like you want to stop and smell the roses, you can stop and feel the hips at a certain angle that feels good to you. Breathing out, breathing in, deepening your connection. Your mind enters your body through the breath. Taking your breath through all the places your body moves. All right, now for a chest opener, you're gonna take your hands a little wider and roll your staff up your back. And a lot of times people just get impatient and they just hoist it up like that. That's not really ideal. Instead, roll it by twisting your staff left, right. You twist one hand at a time and it rolls like a wheel up your back. And it's just a much easier way to get up to the shoulder blades. Then you can slide the hands out and in and find your sweet spot where you feel your chest open, the back engaged, and your heart is lifted. Ground your feet. Inhale and gently arch the upper back, lengthening your spine. Feel the energy blooming up into your chest, to the collarbones. Your breath having extra room to move into. Irrigating the tissues. Feel the collarbones open, the throat open. One more deep breath. And exhale. Soften your hands, arms, release, and lower back down. And shrug it out. Let your hands rest behind the staff so they're kind of propped comfortably and passively. You don't have to do anything. And now tilt your head to the left side and gently stretch your edge here. And then draw little shapes with your chin as your head's tilted, and feel the throat, the thyroid, the lymph nodes. During the change of the seasons, keeping your immune system tuned up. Tilt your head the other way, and then draw shapes with your chin. Open the mouth, the jaw, the face can stretch too. Breathing out. Wonderful, back to center. And then just a very small circle, not to the end range, just like you're swirling liquid in a cup. The first few vertebrae gliding around. And then backwards. Beautiful. And release. All right, now take your feet wide and your staff plants at the center. Arms length, hips back, hands forward. Stretch your back. Elongate. And you can shift your hips from side to side. Cleansing the hip joints. Little curls of your spine, cat and cow here. Your upper back, middle back can round and dip. Your pelvis can tilt and tuck. Hamstrings, everything in your back body wakes up. And now take your left hand up high, right hand down low. Rotate to the left side. And a thoracic rotation. It's really a wonderful thing to have thoracic mobility, the ability to move, bend, and rotate the upper back. breathing. It'll help your breathing. It'll help you avoid straining your muscles. If your spine is tight, it's easy to overwork your muscles there too. Go ahead and switch sides. Other hand to the top. Left hand bottom. Rotate toward the upper hand and isolate the upper back as you rotate. The pelvis stays pretty fixed here, although you can tilt your hips to access the inner thighs. You can do a little push and pull with the bottom hand, and the staff should flex and bend with you to accommodate. The staff is a representation of our balance in yoga of stability and flexibility. Go ahead and come back to center, bend the knees and rise up. Shrug your shoulders, release. Wonderful. And back to center. Let's do some hip openers before our lunges. So plant the staff to one side, the same side foot will lift and circle. A couple of challenges if you like. You could stand on a folded blanket. Make it a little bit harder, a little softer surface will challenge you. You could just lift the staff up off the ground or lighten the touch. You could try blinking, closing the eyes, or turning your head around different directions. Go ahead and reverse, maybe not all at the same time, picking and choosing. Great. Now switch your legs, other side. Rotate. You do want to find your edge though, especially with balance. You won't really improve your balance if you're always feeling really stable and comfortable. You give yourself little challenges. Little wobbles are good. If you have to step down, that's fine. Try to find your edge and hover there a little bit. Reverse. Feel the core centralize your power, your focus. Your energy moves toward the middle. And give your legs a shake. Now your feet wide. Do some side lunges, toes way out there. Toes out, hips and feet wide, and then glide from side to side. Your knees track your toes and you just slowly ease into it. My hips are pretty sore today. I'll be sharing more later, but I have my friend Vivian, who's a videographer, photographer, graphic designer for boyoga, is visiting, and we've been filming the last couple of days, making some new videos, and it looks really good. I'm filming some of hers, she's filming some of mine, so I was in the photographer's crouch, and my hips are pretty tight, so it's all for you guys. It's worth it. You're gonna have some really cool new videos coming out soon. We went to the Columbia Gorge. We went to beautiful mountains. Go ahead and hold on one side, lean into the shoulder, and lower down a little bit, and then just hold. You can reach down toward the extended toe. Make a tripod with your two legs and the staff, and you can really just relax into it. Lean in the shoulder with the staff. Comfortable breathing. All right, bend your knees, come up and switch, other side, and lean into the shoulder. We have a couple of videos standing in front of a waterfall. We both almost got hypothermia. Totally worth it. You guys are gonna love them. Lower those hips and breathe. And when When you're ready, bend your knees as you come up and return. Shake those hips out. Great. Keeping your hips springy and strong. It's like car suspension. It's really strong and powerful, but also flexible. Now take one foot forward and the other foot back. I'm gonna face sideways so you can see. Let's do the right leg forward just so we're all on the same page here. And square your hips and shoulders to a warrior one. This really can be done daily. This is one of the daily practices you can do is front to back lunges. Gliding to feel the hips open, your shoulders shrug back. And then find your balance point where you feel enough of a stretch but not overdoing it. You could hold it for 30 seconds. Raise your hand up high. And if you're feeling stable, you can even take both hands up. Palms face the sky and breathe. Feel the heart open. What was your intention this morning, today's class, your own Sow-cha? Purity, cleansing, and body, mind, or spirit. Visualize that as you breathe. Letting go of what you no longer need. Replacing it with what you would. Lower your arms. And one way to create an internal cleanse is a twist. So we're going to do our revolved lunges. Hold that warrior one and take your free hand forward now and twist to your side. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And you get to decide if you want to just stay here or if you feel like you got a little more room to work with. You take that hand, you flip the thumb down, reach behind your back, and you go around your hip like you're trying to go into the pocket of your opposite hip from the back. Not a very smart way to go into your pocket, but you're going to bind it at your hip and you're going to use that to open the shoulder and create a little more of a twist and breathe. Neck is rotating, whole body gently twisting. On your exhale, release your hand, square your hips and shoulders, and pyramid now. I'm sorry, before pyramid, switch your hand. Let's do the other side. Same side, hand and foot forward, the other hand opens. Now it's kind of like a warrior two, and you're rotating, rotating, rotating. And same thing, if you want to take that free hand, wrap it around your back, go into the opposite pocket, bind it around your pelvis, and then open the shoulder. So your hand kind of bends, the back of the hand bends around the pelvis. Creates a little bind there. Now exhale, come back to center, rewind, and now pyramid. Square your hips and shoulders, shorten your stance. Interlace your fingers at the center line, hips back, chest forward and down. Your tailbone and your crown move away from each other. Lengthening your back body, hamstrings, back, arms. You're pressing down through the staff to elongate your back. Bend your knees and rise up. Shrug the shoulders and release. Switch your legs. Left leg forward, right leg back, gliding. Warrior one, other side. My hope is that one day, after you sit for an hour or so, you get up from the computer, the movie theater, the couch, dinner table, the first instinct is to do this lunge. It'll start to feel like, that's what my body wants to do. This is the counterpose to sitting. even just for a few seconds. Go ahead and hold and reach up. Inhale. Raise your heart, your front body opens. Light touch on the staff, maybe even take it up in the air, or just release your grip on it. Find your balance. Find your breath. And on your exhale, your arms float down. Plant the staff opposite your front leg. That free hand will now rotate. Rotate, crossing your body. You can feel the chest open, and if you're wanting a little deeper twist, totally optional. You can take that free hand, flip the thumb down, and the back of the hand will go across your back and around to the opposite hip like you're going into your other pocket, and you use it to draw the shoulder back. Securing your rotation. Lighten the touch on the staff, let the legs take over more. Exhale, rewind, unwind, and now switch your hands, same side hand and foot, leading, and now the other arm, rotate and twist. To be able to get into the digestive organs and twist, your body, your muscles and bones actually have to get prepared, get conditioned. Go ahead and wrap around your hip if you'd like the extra bind. Spread the sensations across your body evenly, not too much in any one area. Feel the breath from the inside, pressing on your edges. On your exhale, unwind. And square off again, shorten your stance, hips and shoulders line up at the middle. Interlace your hands at the center on your staff, hips back, pyramid pose. It's like somebody's gently pulling your belt backward, your hips move back, the chest elongates, your arms elongate. You might need to adjust where you're holding the staff because higher or lower will change the feeling of your shoulders. Full breath. Now bend your front knee and rise back up. Good work. Shrug it out, shake your body, and release. All right, hope you're getting some nice circulation everywhere. Now, we're going to get into some more internal work. First, let's give your feet a little treat. Take your staff down to the floor and massage your arches. Roll the sole. And rub, 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 pressing into the heels, the ball of the foot, the arch, tilting left, tilting right. Kind of letting energy discharge, giving it an exit point. Press and milk the foot from one end to the other. Press and release. All right, and then switch, other foot. Hopefully you take that little tingling, buzzing energy with you. Feeling the foot binding with the earth. Exchanging energy just like a plug and a wall socket, exchanging electrons. Your feet open up and your energy can exchange with the earth. Press and release. Press and release. Milk the foot. And roll, roll, roll. Wonderful. Okay, once you're done, just stand still, pause there, feel the energy flowing top to bottom, inside and out. Deep breath. Feel like the borders of your body perhaps more open, energy flowing through the feet, into the ground, through the crown, through the skin. You're breathing just like your body is porous. Breathing not just through the nose and mouth, but through the skin, energy flowing through your skin. All right. Before we move to the next section of class, some of the internal work, let's take a brief water break. Don't drink too much though, because we're going to be doing some intestinal work. A little sip of refreshing water or tea. All right, so when you come back, you can set your staff off to the side. All right, now we're gonna move to the internal organs. And if you think about most mammals, how many of them walk on 2 feet? Really, I don't think there's any others, just humans. Most of them are on all 4s. So when you go on all 4s, you can imagine how much the organs are getting moved around, especially like cheetahs and animals that run on all 4s. There's a lot of scrubbing and movement here in the intestines. Humans are mostly upright and it just kind of sits there. And so this can lead to a lot of stagnation. They say the average person has 10 to 15 pounds of waste in their digestive tract at any given time. Quite a lot of junk. So we're going to do some practices that are going to scrub and kind of stimulate the digestive system. So start with tapping. Feet wide, bend the knees, and make a fist. You can do a fancy fist, but your thumb's inside here. This stretches the large intestine meridian. And we're going to tap along your large intestine. So tapping from below the belly button, and then you go up the right side, and there's your ascending colon. And then you go across the middle, there's your transverse colon. Also a lot of nerves here, so it's a little tender. And then down the left side, descending colon. So these 3 sections of the large intestine here, and then you go down, around, and continue again. So up, this is the direction your intestines go, so we want to go with your digestive tract. And just for a few minutes, relax your wrists. So as you're tapping, if your wrists are stiff, your shoulders are gonna feel tight like this. If you relax the wrists, they're loose but firm, your shoulders can stay relaxed. Your breathing is comfortable. Now, if you're new to tapping, start off lightly. And if you've done it for a while, you can actually tap pretty deeply with the proper warm-up. So once you feel like your mind wanders or it gets pleasant feeling, you can tap a little harder. There's going to be some discomfort, a little, it's going to get your attention. You should tap strong enough that you really feel your full attention come to your body. It doesn't have to be painful, but tap strong enough to bring your mind inwards. It's likely you're going to find little pockets of pain or tension that might want to stay on a little longer. cramps. So just close your eyes and just get into that sense of rhythm, those deep sensations inside your belly. Breathe out through your mouth to release, letting go of any emotional tension, might be stuck in there too. Emotional residue. Just like after a vigorous physical activity, you have kind of physical residue, soreness or aches. After any intense emotional experience, there's often emotional residue. And that you can process through breathing as well as other work. Breathing out. All right, nicely done. Now just take your hands and rub the belly clockwise, up the right, down the left. Pressing in. And now for the intestinal exercises, we're not going to do Nauli, but it's kind of a variation on that. You put your thumbs on your belly button, your hands below. You just let your belly go out and suck it back in. Out, in. It's okay to link it with your breath at the beginning, but later you'll be able to isolate the two. And you just try to pump the low belly, keeping your chest relaxed. Once you get the hang of it, you can even engage the pelvic floor up and down, kind of like a Kegels, but not too strongly, just the same pressure as your belly moving. Out, down, up, in. Out, down, up, in. The belly and the pelvic floor pumping together. The pelvic floor actually can have just as many problems from too much tension as too much weakness. So one of the criticisms to Kegels is people already have hypertonic, hyper intense pelvic floors, so it just aggravates it. But we want that balance of strength and flexibility in any part of our body, so pelvic floor included. Toning and relaxing. Digestive, intestines, massaging, circulating. Sometimes you get some fun gurgles and bubbles and movement in there. Happy little intestines. All right, rub your belly clockwise one more time. We're gonna cycle through a few of these. This might be the most attention your intestines have gotten all week, right? Kind of ignore them for the most part, unless something goes wrong. This next one, you will not be able to ignore your intestines any longer. We're gonna do the organ scrub or the organ dance. And you take your feet wide, you sit down a little into your stance, you bring your hands out like you got a little steering wheel in front of you, and you twist your hips and your elbows opposite directions. Opposite directions. So you're not moving your hands and hips together. It's not that, it's opposite. This is actually a little tricky to coordinate for a lot of folks. So you're gonna imagine you have a hula hoop, unless you actually have one next to you, which would be amazing, and you're twisting your hands and hips opposite each other, right? It's like you're drying off your back with a towel. Okay? So as usual, I see a lot of folks doing it the same way, hands and hips. You're not gonna get any friction or any scrubbing if you do it the same way. It's opposite. And it's tricky, I know. It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head. It's kind of a weird move-in. But with practice, your pelvis is turning like a corkscrew. It's It's not going side to side, it's twisting like a corkscrew. And once you get the hang of it, you'll just lock in and you just go, go, go. You can speed it up. This is where I do wish we had a physical class, because I would come around and I would hold your shoulders still and just let you practice moving your pelvis by itself to unlock the habit of the hips and shoulders wanting to move together. And once they learn to move opposite, you're gonna feel a whole lot of scrubbing inside. If you don't feel any cramps yet, then you're probably not doing it correctly. If you're doing it correctly, you're gonna feel little cramps popping up here and there. And it's not a bad idea to smile, because it's gonna be a little discomfort here in the belly for a while. Scrubbing those little pockets of tension. All right, that's plenty. Slow it down. Just pause, take a breath. Take your hands, which may be nice and warm now, and rub your belly clockwise, up the right, down the left. You can press in a couple inches to really get in there. Wonderful. And now put your thumbs together like a link here, and you make a sharp edge on the two thumbs together. And you press in from the ribs, and you slide, you scrape down like an ice scraper. Press in and you scrape down the belly. You press in a few inches and really get into those guts. Just go down from top to bottom. It doesn't matter which direction, you go both. But you really press those thumbs in until they disappear, and then scrape down. You can almost feel the topography, right? You can feel little bumps, little ridges, your organs in there. Your body can really handle some, you know, you can imagine running on all fours. There's a lot of scrubbing, a lot of friction. It's just fine. All right, one more time. Rub your belly. See if you're feeling any heat, any temperature change there. Another round of intestine exercises. Thumbs on your belly button. Make a triangle. Bend your knees a little. This time you're going to twist to your left with your upper body. Pull the belly in. Press it out. In, out. Pumping your low belly out and in. Shoulders relaxed, pelvic floor lifts and lowers with your belly. It's a really amazing feeling when these muscles start to wake up, when you actually feel like there's some control. At the beginning, since we don't usually isolate these muscles, it's like moving your ears. You don't really feel it doing anything. Over time, you actually can feel them responding. Coming back online. Pelvic floor, the low belly, all the way out, all the way in. All right, turn to the other side, rotate 45 degrees with just your upper body and your feet stay parallel. So by turning, you isolate a little bit more of one corner than the other. Breathe naturally. Anybody feeling the warmth yet? It's starting to get hot inside the belly, maybe everywhere. And rubbing your belly clockwise. So a lot of students have told me this helps with constipation, with digestive challenges. So if that's something that bothers you, doing it more regularly may help. Nicely done. Brush your body And now just relax, open the hands, breathe down into the abdomen. Maybe your diaphragm has a little more room to breathe into now. Nice. Now after all that circulation, we'll do a few more standing stretches just to get everything moving again. Feet together, lace your fingers. Go right up the top. Inhale. Lengthen your body. Up, up, up. Pump your toes and ankles up and down. And then heels down, twist to your left, rotate. Notice how when you breathe, you get a little extra sensation in the abdomen. And rotate the other side. If your arms need a break, rest them on your head. Nicely done. Back to center. Release your arms and shake your hands out. Okay. Keep your feet close together. Hands to your lower back. Inhale, hips forward, shoulders back. Little standing back bend. And then exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Slide your hands down the back side and sweep down into a forward fold. Keep your knees bent, let your belly compress, your head drop. Bend your knees till your hands can touch the ground, or put something down to raise your hands, to raise the ground to your hands. Try to keep drawing the breath down as deep as you can into the belly, even as you're folded forward. Optional variation, turn your hands 90 degrees to the right, a little twist. And 90 degrees to the left, twist the other way. Back to center, and then your knees are bent, but if you want to go deeper, you just hoist your tailbone up like it's on a crane. Up, 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 and your hamstrings will lengthen naturally as your hips move higher. To release the upper back, you can cradle your elbows with your hands, head down. When you're ready to return, bend your knees again, release your arms, press down through your feet and rise up very slowly from the lower back up the spine. Shrug your shoulders at the top and release. Wonderful. Okay, go ahead and have a seat on the ground. We're going to move to floor practices now. And for your back roll, a couple ways you can do it. Simply hold behind your knees and rock up and down. Or if you feel like your neck is working too hard, you can put your staff behind your knees, and having that handlebar takes pressure off your head and neck. So try rocking your spine. Cleansing out any tension in the back body. Giving your kidneys a nice little squeeze. And now, as you lay on your back, you can rock from side to side. Keep your staff near you. We'll come back to that. You can even open your arms, bend your knees, and twist all the way to the floor. head turns away from the knees. Right. And then when you come back to center, happy baby pose. And there's a few ways you can do it. You can either grab your hands behind the knees as the first step. You can grab your ankles, your feet, maybe even your toes. And if you want to try it with the bow staff, this also gives you an interesting extra tool, a little extra benefit. You can hold it, put your feet on the top, put the bow staff on the bottoms of your feet, and then you can gently draw it towards you with the hands. You get a little handle. Now, after all that intestinal scrubbing, this is also called wind relieving pose. So don't be surprised if some winds blow through you. Very healthy, good sign. And you can relax your hips so that the staff kind of allows you to open the hips, relaxing them without having to pull too hard. Breathing out. Wonderful. Release your hands and feet. Now, we'll do a few minutes of sleeping tiger. We want to accumulate some energy in your core. Detoxification, circulation can be kind of draining also. It can kind of empty you out. So we want to recharge here, flattening your lower back, hips, knees, ankles lined up, knees, fists width apart. Your fingertips can rest on the low abdomen, the elbows separate from your body, shoulders down. Chin down, tongue resting on the palate behind the front teeth, eyes closed. Your body forms a funnel, a reservoir for the core. Each breath drawing energy to the center, filling the dantian. Chest comfortable, light, your face relaxed, jaw relaxed. Only recruiting power from the lower half, upper body light. The pelvic floor relaxed, open. Areas of weakness or tension will start to ache or shake. Just observe that if you can without reacting too much. Adjust if you need to, but also let that vibration open you up. Let those aches draw your mind in. Actively flattening your lower back to the floor. Imagine you're breathing through the lower back. Like there's a nostril there. You can breathe energy. To the Ming Men point opposite the belly button. Imagine you can breathe through the soles of your feet. Just like air comes in, energy flows in. Breathing the energy in. Welcome the aching, the shaking. Hold a little longer now. We're looking to create the upper body empty and light, the lower body heavy and full. A distinct difference between the two halves. The yin lower body, the yang upper body. Hold just less than a minute now. Hang on a little longer if you can. Refocusing, recommitting, readjusting, coming back over and over again. Calm and relaxed strength. Summoning your power without releasing the stress and the chemicals of stress into your body. Summoning your power with a calmness, with a peaceful patience. And when you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and draw it all in and breathe. And release the hips. You can stretch them out, relaxing a little bit. If you want to do one more happy baby pose with your hands or with the staff now, after the sleeping tiger, you may feel totally differently. All that energy penetrating into the hips, circulating the core. And let's take another minute. You can do any shapes, stretches, little free time, little yoga recess here before Shavasana. Just let yourself move about as you need. When you're ready to transition to your resting pose, prop your body up as you like. You can put a blanket under your knees. You can put your legs up on a chair or edge of a couch, up a wall. Find a position where you can be fully supported, fully relaxed. If it's bright where you are, an eye pillow will block the light and put gentle pressure around the eyes, which has a soothing effect. If you tend to get headaches, putting that eye pillow in the microwave or in the freezer, you can do hot and cold therapy. And I found out a warm compress on the eyes, like a heated eye pillow, helps release the oils in your eyes, around your eyes, and it can help with dry eyes. So if you get dry eyes, a gently warmed eye pillow for 5 to 10 minutes could be a great tool for you. And for the next 5 or 6 minutes, just try to completely relax. Nothing you need to do. This is not about doing anymore. This is undoing, non-doing. If you'd like to stay in your Shavasana a little bit longer, feel free. If you're ready to transition back, you can begin to stir your fingers and toes. And stretch your arms and your legs. And roll from side to side. Slowly move into a comfortable seat. And I'll leave you today with a line from the Yoga Sutras. So bring your palms together in front of your chest and let your eyes close, your chin tilt slightly down. Yoga Sutra 2.41. Through cleanliness and purity of body and mind comes a purification of the essence. Goodness and gladness of feeling, a sense of focus with intention, the mastery and union of the senses, and a fitness, preparation, and capability for self-realization. From the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And I hope that this class has assisted you in this process of self-realization. Thank you so much. Namaste.